Grandad, who had stroke in Bangkok apartment, survived off tap water diet for 8 days. A Grandad who got trapped alone inside his holiday apartment in Thailand survived off a diet of just tap water for 8 days as he prayed someone would come to his rescue. Scottish 64-year-old Bill Fairbairn was struck down by a stroke while he was staying in Bangkok and lay on the ground for days unable to get up to seek help. He had left his home in Dunbar on January 16 to explore Thailand by himself for around 2 months. But just over a month into his trip, disaster struck. His family back home grew extremely concerned for his well-being as they were unable to get in contact with him. Bill's daughter Fiona sparked a frantic online search for her missing dad, reports the Daily Record. Scott's dad drank sink water to survive and lay for days after stroke in Thailand as family crowdfund to bring him home. A Scottish dad was left lying in his apartment for days and forced to drink sink water to survive after suffering a stroke while on holiday in Thailand. Bill, 64, from Dunbar, sparked a desperate search online after he failed to get back in touch with family while abroad last month. But they were left horrified after discovering he had suffered a stroke in his apartment and been left alone for 8 days. Daughter Fiona Gunn, 31, from Glasgow, told the Scottish Sun, "He was out in Thailand on holiday and when he's away he usually texts my auntie, his sister, every day. Then on the 22nd, he stopped texting altogether. We sent him emails and WhatsApp messages but the messages weren't being delivered and we were getting no response to anything, so we knew something wasn't quite right. On the Friday of that week, my auntie contacted me again to say she was getting really worried, that this was out of character as he had been texting her every day for coming on 2 years now. We didn't have an address for him, which is bad in hindsight, but we knew he had definitely gone back to Bangkok on the Friday, but apart from that we didn't have anything else." Fiona told how she had reached out on Facebook to see if anyone had any information on his whereabouts. From there she managed to get in touch with a bar he regularly visited while staying in Bangkok. Fiona explained, "Eventually I got into contact with a woman from Bangkok. I showed her picture of my dad with a waitress and she recognized the uniform. I told another woman who was Thai what the bar was and she went in to speak to them and they said that he usually went there every night and they'd been worried about him because usually when he flies back to the UK he tells them that he's away. One of the girls knew which apartment he was in but not the number, and so she got in touch with the condo manager. The manager was really upset because she had been there on the Monday and knocked the door for cleaning and had what she thought was him talking to friends, but it actually must have been him calling for help because he had a stroke. The manager managed to open the door enough to see he was lying on the floor. They managed to break the door down." She added, "He was in a really bad way, the apartment was horrendous. It had been 8 days since his stroke and he had been left in the apartment without any food or water. He'd pulled the U-bend off the sink so he could have water and a couple of things had been pulled off the kitchen counter, so we're presuming he'd tried to make noise to get attention." Bill is now recovering in a private hospital in Bangkok. But when they tried to sort out his return home, Fiona discovered that her dad's travel insurance was void. She said, "When I went to get his travel insurance to get his hospital bills paid for, I contacted RBS, who his travel insurance is through. They said if you're gonna be traveling for more than 31 days you have to let them know, and this is day 37. So because of that his travel insurance is now void and any hospital bills are liable to the family. I contacted the consulate and basically they said the only way to raise the funds is to crowdfund or take a personal loan." Fiona has now set up a GoFundMe page in a bid to get enough money to get her dad home. Since setting up the page yesterday, Fiona has already raised nearly £2,000 of her £10,000 target. But it's still not enough. She added, "Basically what I've tried to do is get emergency power of attorney of his accounts. I never wanted to crowdfund because I feel like it's begging a little. But I don't think he'll have enough money in his accounts. I've still got £3,000 to £4,000 in hospital bills to pay, the flight is £29,000, I was hoping if I could crowdfund £10,000, he would have some money, then between me and his sister we could raise the funds." Fiona has revealed Bill is recovering well in hospital, but she's keen to get home soon. She said, "He's doing amazing. When he first got taken in, I have never seen a human alive that color, he was so grey it was horrible to see, especially when it's your dad. Today they sent me a photo to show 4 nurses holding him up so he was able to stand up. When he first went in, he couldn't speak at all, but now you can understand little by little what he's trying to ask you, like when he's getting home. She added, it's amazing people's generosity, people I don't even know as well. It's really nice that people are so generous to someone they don't know. Austrian alpine avalanches kill 6 people. 6 people have been killed in 2 separate avalanches in the Austrian Alps, Austrian authorities said. In the Dachstein area, a group of mountains located on the border of Upper Austria and Styria, a group of 5 snowshoers were swept away by an avalanche around 9:30 am on Sunday, local media reported. The hikers were believed to be from the Czech Republic. Emergency services were called immediately by witnesses but were not able to save the victims. In the Großglockner area of southwestern Austria, a policeman died during an alpine training session after a separate avalanche hit. In a statement, Austria's Ministry of the Interior said the 33-year-old officer, from Carinthia, was dragged down by the avalanche and died of his injuries at the scene. Austria's Interior Minister, Karl Nehammer, said, "The death of a young employee is a severe blow, especially in such tragic circumstances for both the family and for the closest colleagues. I express my deepest sympathy for the family and assure them of my full support." Thousands of police officers carry out dangerous tasks for our democratic coexistence every day. Let us take this tragic accident as an opportunity to visualize the dangers associated with the police service, he added. The Austrian Alps are prone to avalanches, especially with climate change leading to heat waves, melting glacier and permafrost degradation. In December last year, a skier survived after being trapped in snow by an avalanche for 5 hours, in the northwestern area of Upper Styria. EasyJet suspends flights to northern Italy after government imposes lockdown. Budget airline EasyJet is cancelling a number of flights to and from central and northern Italy after the country's government imposed heavy restrictions on residents in a bid to tackle the spread of coronavirus. Around 16 million people, more than a quarter of the Italian population, are in a state of lockdown until April 3 as the infection rate of COVID-19 continues to rise. Italy has registered more cases of coronavirus than any country outside China, while its death toll has risen to 366. The British authorities are advising against all but essential travel to large swathes of the country. The Foreign Office, FCO, advice covers the Lombardy region, including the cities of Milan, Bergamo and Como, and the provinces of Modena, Parma, Piacenza, Reggio Emilia and Rimini, all in the Emilia-Romagna region. Also included are Pesaro and Urbino in the Marche region, Alessandria, Asti, Novara, Verbano Cusio Ossola and Vercelli in the Piemonte region, and Padova, Treviso and Venice in the Veneto region. On Sunday evening, EasyJet announced several flights to or from these destinations would be cancelled on Monday. The company said in light of the lockdown in Italy, it would be reviewing its flying program to Milan Malpensa, Milan Linate, Venice and Verona airports from now until April 3. In the short term we will be cancelling a number of flights to and from these destinations on Monday the 9th March, it said. It said passengers on affected flights would receive an email or text message and offered either a full refund or the option of changing their flights. The airline added, "We expect to continue to reduce the number of flights in and out of Milan Malpensa, Milan Linate, Venice and Verona airports in the period up to April 3 and will provide a further update on our schedule in due course." British Airways, BA, said on Sunday it was not planning to ground flights. There are no current travel restrictions or updates for airlines flying to and from Italy, the airline said. It said customers with flights to or from northern Italy, specifically Milan, Turin, Bologna, Venice, Bergamo and Verona, could rebook to a later date not beyond May 31. BA added, "We are monitoring the situation closely and we will continue to liaise with government and global health authority and follow their advice." Ryanair has also not said it is planning to cancel any routes, saying instead, "We are following guidelines issued by the Italian government and the World Health Organization." The extraordinary measures put in place across central and northern Italy include the closure of museums, cultural institutions and the suspension of all public gatherings and social events, including pubs, nightclubs and games halls. Religious ceremonies and funerals have been suspended, and ski facilities in the affected mountain areas are closed. More widely across Italy, museums, including in the Vatican, are closed and all sporting fixtures must be played behind closed doors. Child care facilities, schools and universities are closed until March 15. The FCO said public and social gatherings in the country should be avoided with cinemas, pubs and clubs closed, while restaurants and bars remain open with reduced seating. Westminster lockdown, man armed with 2 knives shot dead by police. Police shot a man dead who was armed with 2 knives while walking around Westminster tonight. Police cars and a helicopter were seen circling Northumberland Avenue between Victoria Embankment and Trafalgar Square in Westminster at 11:27 p.m. last night. Metropolitan Police said officers were patrolling the area when they noticed the man acting suspiciously. When challenged by police, the man produced 2 knives. Armed officers responded and a taser and police firearm were used. London ambulance service attended but the man was pronounced dead at the scene at Great Scotland Yard a short time later. No police officers or members of the public were injured during the incident. Uniformed officers manned cordons at Scotland Place leading to Great Scotland Yard, and on parts of Northumberland Avenue and Whitehall nearest to Trafalgar Square. The Met Police told Express.co.uk, a man has been shot dead by officers following an incident in Westminster at 11:27 p.m. on Sunday, March 8. This is not being treated as a terrorist incident. Officers remain on scene and updates will follow. Road closures remain in place. A full Met Police statement that was issued later on said, police officers were on patrol at around 11:25 p.m. on Sunday, the 8th of March when they noticed a man who they believed to be acting suspiciously. Officers challenged the man who produced 2 knives. Armed officers responded. Taser and a police firearm were discharged during the incident. London ambulance service attended and the man was pronounced dead at the scene at Great Scotland Yard short time later. No police officers or members of the public were injured during the incident. Enquiries into the circumstances remain ongoing. The incident is not being treated as terrorism. Road closures remain in place around the area. The Directorate of Professional Standards and the IOPC has been informed. Shocked onlookers filmed sirens blaring past their homes. One person also shared a picture on Twitter of the road being cordoned off by police. They tweeted alongside the picture, "Cordon on Northumberland Avenue." One shot fired in local vicinity around 11:34 p.m.